Are you an overachiever, or do you pretend to be one? This week's episode is sort of similar to a couple of weeks ago, where we talked about hustle culture and why we're addicted to it. Now, proving your worth is another one of those cultural themes that we're addicted to. You know better, but you still keep doing it. You keep saying yes when you really don't want to. You volunteer for the big projects at work, not because you're passionate about it, but because it will get you noticed. You agree to host the family holiday party, yet again, because if you don't, it won't be done properly. Or at least that's what you've told yourself. Your plate is already full, but your mantra is, if you want something done right, you've got to do it yourself. This is the struggle of the will center in human design, and this is what we're diving into today. I'm Suzanne Arjona, and this is Life on Your Terms, where human design meets bold truth and permission to be real. You've played the role, you did what was expected, and now it's time to show up as you. I actually have a defined will center, and that puts me in the minority. It's crazy because so much of our conditioning in society drives us as if we all have a defined will center. Okay, we're all expected to be able to set a goal and achieve it, easy peasy. But when that goal isn't yours and you end up failing at achieving it, you start to question your value. So then you work even harder at it, and eventually you just get burned out and quit. Because you're trying to live up to someone else's ideal, someone else's values. But guess what? If it wasn't your goal to begin with, you didn't fail. Just because someone else, likely someone with a defined will, says, hey, to be successful, you need to book 5 new clients a week, or you need to earn 6-figure income within your first 6 months of business, that doesn't mean those goals are what you value. Part of having an open will center is determining what you value and acting on those values. You need to discern what's yours and what's not yours. Your open will center is absorbing and amplifying all of the values coming in from other people and all of the lack of value those other people are feeling as well. So let's say you have a friend who's feeling inadequate, say at work. You, with your open will center, are going to get that energy from her and possibly identify those feelings as your own. Being able to discern what's yours and what isn't is a challenge of all the open centers, and I've talked about this a lot before. Now, just because I have a defined will center doesn't mean I'm immune to these feelings as well. For example, I have 2 undefined gates in my defined will center. One of them is gate 40, and that's the gate about valuing myself enough to take a step back and replenish my energy when needed. The shadow side of this is martyrdom, blaming others when I choose to overgive and burn myself out instead of taking the time I need for myself or allowing myself to say no. And gate 26 is about integrity. It's about staying in my lane and trusting that I will have what I need to succeed without compromising my integrity. I don't need to do everyone else's job, just my own. So, how do you operate effectively with an open will center? Well, it's not about how strong your will is. It's about staying consistent with your sense of value and commitment. This is about you and only you, not comparing yourself to someone else. Staying in tune with what's valuable and worthy to you and identifying when what you're feeling is someone else's idea of value and worth will keep you on track. Having an undefined will doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're constantly trying to prove that you're not weak, But again, you don't need to prove anything. You learned early on that self-worth came through performance, through sticking it out, through being reliable, even if it killed your spirit. So now you find yourself saying yes to things you're no longer aligned with. Like when you thought, well, I said I would, so I have to. Okay, you find yourself feeling guilty for quitting. Like, anytime you felt, if I rest, I'll fall behind. And when you're over-delivering so no one questions your worth. Okay, that pressure isn't yours. It's just leaking in through that open will center. Once you're aware of these habits, eventually you can stop buying into it. But what do you do instead? What do you do in the meantime? How do you replace these external thoughts with feelings from within you? When you understand that your worth is not something you earn, it's something you own. Okay? You start by noticing where you say yes to earn approval. Okay? Practice pausing before responding and ask yourself, would I still say yes to this if no one noticed? Owning your worth means no longer needing someone else to give it that stamp of approval. Okay? When you embody the real power move of walking away from anything that doesn't feel aligned for you without explanation or apology. Okay? To do that, you begin with small exits. Let go of a commitment that drains you without justifying it. Say this no longer works for me and leave it there. Okay? When you can lead by example and show others that opting out of the proving cycle is not weakness, it's wisdom. The next time you take a rest instead of pushing forward, the next time you quit instead of clinging to a situation, the next time you trust your gut over proving your point, let that be visible. Model the quiet confidence of someone who knows their value isn't up for debate. You don't prove your value, you embody it. You live it with each decision you make. Now, I want to invite you in this coming week to begin integrating these ideas and really applying them to your life. This is where real change comes in, okay? Think about where in your life you're staying committed out of fear of looking flaky or weak, okay? And then practice saying no without a reason. No justification, no over-explaining, just no, or not now, or that doesn't work for me right now. And then say this affirmation every day. I don't prove my worth, I live it. So if this hits close to home for you and you want to understand your own undefined centers, I've got something for you. Grab your human design chart and let's look at what's really driving your patterns. You'll find a link to get your free chart down in the show notes. Now keep in mind, when you get that free chart, you get me attached to it, okay? If you want. Okay, if you have any questions about your chart, you can message me. You can message me out here in Substack. You can message me on Instagram. If you happen to find me on Facebook, which I'm not out there very often, you could message me there. Just refer to your human design chart. And when you confirm your email address after receiving your chart, you'll get a short series of follow-up emails from me with more details about how to read your human design chart. Okay, so you're not just going to get this thing and look at it and just be wide-eyed and wonder, what the heck am I looking at? You're going to get some direction along with it as well. And if you're still curious about what human design is and how you can apply it in your daily life, join me on my next Your True North chat on September 2nd. I'm currently hosting these chats monthly, and the link to sign up for the next one is in the show notes and on my website. So if you're listening to this at a later date, the monthly date will always be out there in the link, so whichever one is coming up next. So that's a wrap for today. If this episode sparked something in you, share it with a friend who also might be second-guessing their worth or struggling with burnout. And if you're ready to look at your human design with fresh eyes, you know where to find me for a personal reading. All the links are down in the show notes. Until next time, trust your design and live life on your terms.